Hey guys, it's Savannah from merch.com. As you undoubtedly know, the Grand Exchange will be coming to Oldschool RuneScape at the end of this month, most likely on the 26th of February. Now to follow the progress on development, you can just follow @JaxAsh on Twitter as he's frequently posting status updates about it. I've heard a lot of concerns from players, mostly old school ones, that the Grand Exchange is going to ruin old school, so in this video I'd like to give you my thoughts on what might happen when it gets released, and also what our plans are for it on merch. Now, I believe there are 7 main changes that are going to happen with the Grand Exchange coming to Old School, and here they are in no specific order. Number 1, a lot of people fear that public merchant clans will ruin Old School. So first off, I don't think the Grand Exchange will ruin Old School, but it will definitely change some things. I'm personally very happy about the fact that the Old School team is adding enhanced features like allowing you to withdraw all offers with one click, sending offers directly to your bank from the Grand Exchange interface, and a Grand Exchange history of 10 transactions instead of 5 on RuneScape 3. Of course, not everyone is as happy about the Grand Exchange coming to Old School despite it passing the poll. Some people are complaining it's not Old School-like at all, even though it was added originally in 2007. But what I think the biggest problem here is that a lot of people are thinking of the restricted trade area with the Grand Exchange, when public merchanting clans and private buyouts were consistently bothering players in buying what they wanted at reasonable prices. Now, the Grand Exchange on Old School is not going to be like that time period. Yes, people will definitely form clans and attempt to buy items out, but the only reason why this worked in the restricted trade days is because there was a 5% maximum an item could drop per day, and that won't be there anymore. Meaning people had the time to junk trade their items off at a higher price point without losing too much money. Without this artificial defense, items can instantly drop back down to a low price after buy offers are taken out, just like on RuneScape 3. So a merchanting clan might buy an item out and raise it to 5 times its original price, but as soon as they stop buying, the item can instantly drop back down to the price where they started. Now, this means that public merchanting clans cannot properly work, but the concept is still going to be abused to scam a lot of people in the beginning. Sadly, a lot of people are going to believe that merchanting clans can work like they did back in the restricted trade days, and they will fall for it. I hope you won't be one of them. Number 2, the private buyouts I mentioned before are going to be more effective. To be more precise, these are going to work better than on RuneScape 3 because the volume of items on Old School is a lot lower. I suspect this is going to be a pain in the case of some items, but people will most likely blame clans for these items rising, even though it will be individuals or small groups. Now, the reason why these private buyouts will be effective and more attractive is because wealthy players suddenly get low effort options to buy a lot of an item. Whereas before the Grand Exchange, they would have to track down all of the sellers, which would be very tedious and also difficult to do because they wouldn't even be able to buy from people who are offline at the moment. The Grand Exchange, on the other hand, is 24/7, which will make things a lot easier for them and also more profitable, which means a lot more people will be trying this. Number 3, right now there are a lot of players flipping resources at a large scale through the trading post or Zybas. The high volumes that they are flipping in gives them advantages in price because it's very tedious to gather large amounts. So they can set lower buy prices and sell at higher prices. Now when the Grand Exchange is introduced, however, gathering large amounts is no longer going to be a problem for any players, meaning a lot of these merchants will likely be moving their large amounts of wealth in these resources to the more expensive items in the game, which will push those up in price. Number 4, free-to-play bots will be adding a lot of resources and thus wealth to the game through the Grand Exchange. This will happen at an accelerated pace because free-to-play bots can be created a lot easier, and selling through the Grand Exchange is obviously a lot faster than street trading as well. As a result, the prices of the free-to-play resources will crash, but the prices of higher valued items will likely be driven up as well due to more gold being created through high alching. Number 5, everyone is going to get rid of small amounts of lousy items that still have some value. Before the Grand Exchange, it would be very tedious and not really worth it to sell these, and people would rather keep them in their bank if they had plenty of bank spaces anyways. But now it'll be easier to get rid of them, so that's what people will be doing, and this will create tremendous opportunities for picking up cheap items after the Grand Exchange release, which will rebound at some point, but you'll just have to know what to look for. Try to be creative there. Number 6, there will be additional demand from flippers, pushing the prices of a lot of items up a bit, mostly due to these items having a lower volume than on RuneScape 3. It's hard to say how much this bump in price will be and how much of it will be counteracted by an increase in gold and also an increase in supply on a lot of items. Number 7, flipping is most likely going to suck over time due to a lower amount of players than on RuneScape 3 where it is already a pain. In the beginning it will definitely be very profitable to flip, but over time when people get the hang of it, things really won't be as easy anymore. Investing will likely be a lot better in the long run, mostly because it's something the average player cannot learn, and that's also why it still works so well on RuneScape 3 compared to flipping. Now that's it for my expectations on what's going to happen. Let me know if you agree or disagree with them in the comments. Moving on to what we have planned for Oldschool RuneScape on merch. First off, we'll be adding a switch to our website which will allow you to easily switch between the RuneScape 3 and Oldschool versions of the site in both searching for graphs and also the merch logs. Everyone who wishes to will be able to have their own Oldschool merch log, which will work the same way as a RuneScape 3 version. The only way to toggle between them will be with the switch. After the Grand Exchange release, it'll still take us a while to get our Oldschool Grand Exchange graph set up, depending on whether Jagex releases their own version and what that will be like. For the rest, we currently have no plans, but we're open for expanding the Oldschool part of the site in the future if that's what people want. As for my personal plans, some of the older subscribers will remember my Hard Clue hunting series, as I played Oldschool for several months after release and really enjoyed it a lot. After about 250 hard clues, which earned me, I believe, like 40 to 50 mil, I got bored of it and I only followed up on the game updates anymore because I felt like I would return one day, which I did. Now recently I've done a bit of skilling and getting up to date with some things. I've gotten the agility armor, which was pretty tedious. But I'll definitely be looking into merchanting on Oldschool, so I can also answer questions regarding merchanting on there. I'll be making some videos too if that's appropriate or if it's what people want. Now for those of you who are curious, these are my stats, with ranged being the highest. I trained that with a magic short bow and steel arrows at Hellhounds since like level 50 ranged. So that was pretty terrible. It was also about 1.5 years ago. Now personally I don't really care about my levels, I just enjoy the Oldschool game a lot and I do whatever I feel like. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you'll enjoy the Grand Exchange as well when it is released, and I'll see you all again next week for another video.